Fix it. Fix it.
I never thought I'd fall for a blind puppy, but life has a way of surprising you. It all started when a rescue group called me about Levi, a tiny bully breed puppy who couldn't see and needed a foster home. I wasn't sure I was up for it. Bully breeds weren't my thing, and those cropped ears made him look tougher than I could handle. But my heart broke imagining him alone in a shelter, so I said yes, promising myself it'd just be for 2 weeks. I headed to Walmart, grabbed a laundry basket for him to sleep in, and picked up some basics. When I met Levi, he was so small, trembling in my arms, his cloudy eyes searching for something he'd never see. I felt a pang of fear. Could I really help a blind dog? But his tiny tail wagged when I spoke, so I brought him home, determined to make him feel safe. Those first days were tough. Levi bumped into walls, his little head drooping each time he misjudged a corner. It was heartbreaking to watch him stumble, but I couldn't let him give up, so I turned into a helicopter parent, guiding him around furniture. I even bought a hula hoop harness to help him learn the layout of my house. He'd hit a wall, pause, then try again, his tail wagging like he was proud of himself. His grit amazed me, but I worried he'd always feel lost in a world he couldn't see. So I spent hours sitting with him, letting him curl up in my lap. Levi started to settle in, finding joy in the simplest things. He'd sprawl out in the backyard, soaking up the sun like it was his personal heater. The sound of running water made his ears perk up, and he'd nuzzle into soft blankets like they were his safe haven. I thought fostering would be easy, temporary. But Levi was stealing my heart, so I admitted I was a foster fail. I adopted him, vowing to give him the best life I could. I wanted Levi to have friends, so I took him to doggy daycare. But his blindness made him defensive, and he snapped at other dogs, his hackles raised. It crushed me to see him struggle, so I pulled him out, thinking he'd be an only dog forever. Levi seemed content, sunbathing all day while waiting for me to come home, but I couldn't shake the feeling he was lonely, so I kept searching for ways to make his world bigger. Then the rescue called again about Jax, another blind bully puppy needing a home. My first instinct was to say no. Levi had never even met a puppy, and 2 blind dogs sounded like chaos. But I pictured Levi's quiet days, his world so small without me, so I agreed to meet Jax, hoping Levi might surprise me. When Jax arrived, he was even tinier than Levi, his wobbly steps mirroring Levi's early days. I was terrified they'd clash, so I started slow, letting them sniff each other through a crack under the door. Levi's nose twitched, curious but cautious. I held my breath, but they didn't growl, so I moved to the next step, holding Jax while Levi sniffed him up close. Levi's tail gave a hesitant wag, and I felt a spark of hope. Over the next few weeks, I introduced them carefully, always on leashes, watching for any sign of trouble. Levi could have been rough. He was bigger after all. But he was gentle, almost like he sensed Jax's vulnerability. They started playing, tumbling over each other in the grass, their clumsy moves making me laugh. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes Levi got frustrated when Jax followed too closely, but Jax's persistence won him over, so they became a team, racing around the yard like they'd known each other forever. Watching them together was like seeing a miracle unfold. Levi, who'd once been so guarded, became Jax's guide. When Levi drank from the water bowl, Jax would hear the lapping and shuffle over, finding it by sound. Levi's collar jingled as he moved, and Jax would follow, his little nose glued to Levi's trail. One day, Levi nudged Jax through the doggy door, and I nearly cried as Jax wobbled out to the yard, tail wagging like he'd conquered the world. But it wasn't always smooth. Jax would sometimes lose Levi's sound and whimper, confused. So I'd guide him back, my heart swelling at how they leaned on each other. Levi's confidence grew with Jax around. He'd always loved sunbathing, but now he'd wait for Jax to join him, the two of them sprawled out like they owned the yard. At night, they'd curl up together, Levi's steady breathing calming Jax's restless twitches. I'd watch them, amazed at how two dogs who couldn't see had found their way to each other. But I still worried. Would their blindness hold them back? So I kept working with them, teaching them new routines, celebrating every small victory. One evening, as they played, Levi tripped over a toy and froze, his ears pinned back. I thought he'd give up, but Jax nudged him, yipping like he was saying, "Come on, you got this." Levi shook it off and chased Jax again, their laughter like barks filling the air. That moment hit me hard. Levi wasn't just surviving, he was thriving, and Jax was a big part of that. I'd been so scared to take them on, but they'd shown me what love and resilience could do. Looking back, I realized Levi and Jax changed me as much as I changed them. I was hesitant at first, scared of the responsibility, but their trust in me pushed me to be better. Special needs dogs like them get overlooked in shelters. People see their challenges and walk away. But I've learned that when you work through those challenges, you get the most loyal, loving companions you could ever ask for. Levi and Jax aren't just pets, they're my family, my teachers, my heart. I think about where they started, Levi abandoned, waiting in a shelter, and Jax facing the same fate. It could have ended there, but I said yes, and now my days are filled with their goofy antics and quiet moments of trust. Sometimes I catch Levi tilting his head, like he's listening to the world in his own way, and Jax will mimic him. Their bond so clear, it makes my chest ache. I don't know what my life would be without them, but I'm so grateful I don't have to find out. Thank you for watching. If you like the story, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. See you in the next video.